Here are 3 cameras I just can't live without. Now, as a full-time photographer, videographer, and creator, these have been essential in supporting and building my business. So in this video, I kind of want to break down what cameras I use and how it best suits the situation that is required. These are the main 3 cameras that I have used for the last year or so, and they all serve a purpose. Some of them more than others, but they all have a job, a very precise job. So let's not waste any time, let's get into the first camera. So the first camera is what I like to call the workhorse. This is pretty much what it says on the tin. This is my go-to camera for all my professional work. This is what I use for client work, serious photography, serious films, and what I'm using now as my setup for YouTube. And that is the Sony a7 IV. Now, if you're familiar with me and my channel, you would have known that I have made a switch recently from Fuji to Sony. And that was because I was having a few reliability issues with the Fujifilm X-H2S. Now, I do highly recommend that camera. It's a fantastic creative beast, but I was looking for something that kind of purred a little bit more like a Rolls Royce, like something that just went and did its thing. And when it comes to videography as well as photography, this is a hybrid beast. It really has, in the last few months, transformed how I approach my work, which is more the confidence. I know so far that I haven't had any problems with my Sony camera. I also equip this fully with the 24-70 G Master Mark II lens. This also has been a game changer, and when I say this lens lives on this camera, that's all it does. This is my setup. This is the thing where I've got to a place in my career where that's just it. When I enter a room in a client situation, this is all I have. I really have tried to be more minimal and mindful over gear over the past year. It might not sound it, but I definitely have. And so yeah, this is the setup. This is everything I use. I love the way it looks. I love the way it just goes. So yeah, this is the current workhorse. This is the thing that, you know, makes my business go. This is the go-to setup. I don't really see me changing anytime soon. And if you're a photographer or a videographer or both, and you want to learn how to turn this into a full-time career, you may want to check out the link below. Here I break down the full system I use to build a profitable and scalable creative business. Now, the next camera that has been so important for documenting my life, showing up on YouTube, just everyday content, is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I think every creator now owns this camera, and it's become my probably most used camera of the past couple of years. Again, if you're familiar with me and my channel, you would have seen that I traveled across Asia last year, and this was the setup. This is all really I needed, and I couldn't be more happy with it. It's the perfect little setup for vlogs, on-the-go travel, and it pairs perfectly with the DJI Mic 2. Again, great audio quality. You're getting 32-bit flow out of this, so you do have tons of control over your audio, and has just made my life easier. Now, I've not really ever pushed this thing to its limits. I mean, as in, I've not really done anything cinematic, but I know I could if I want. I can shoot in a log format and grade it. I can do tons of slow-mo and play with that. But for me, it's a vlog camera, and I think it always will be that. As someone who struggles to set up a tripod and speak into my Sony a7 IV in public, I'm really grateful for this little machine. This camera has revolutionized content creation, and if you are a content creator, then this is a must-buy. It's going to save you a lot of anxiety and headache. Other than that, the quality is just very good. Everyone asks me what are my settings for the DJI Osmo Pocket. I pretty much just shoot straight out of camera. And so it's really just like a press and go, you know, straight out of the box. It's working. Again, very little issues with this thing. So I highly recommend the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, the last camera is in some ways my most important camera, because It is where I get my inspiration from. It is where I get my juice. It's how I still can enjoy doing this job and feed the business. And that is my Fujifilm X106. I got this at the end of last year and literally I've gone everywhere with it. I've just got back from a trip from Portugal, developed a beautiful little Fujifilm recipe, and I'm still just in awe. I don't do any editing with this. I just use the Fuji JPEGs that I create, and it fills my soul full of joy every time I use this thing. I love to apply the Fuji recipes to video too. As a photographer, videographer, it does everything I need. The stabilization is good. I love the focal length. This is a 23mm focal length, but converts to a 35mm on a full frame sensor. So yeah, it's wide enough to capture what I need, but also perfect for grabbing small details. I don't really have much negatives to this. Again, all these cameras, touch wood, I've had no issues with. But the real point of this camera is it reminds me why I got into this game. And it is the love of photography, the love of videography, and just going and taking trips and enjoying them again rather than make them feel like work. Because if you know, YouTube can feel a bit like a slog if you've been doing it long enough, and you do need inspiration to keep doing this. So the Fujifilm X106 is my last and possibly most important camera. Now, as I said, if you're a photographer or a videographer and you're interested in turning this into a full-time career, you may want to look at the link below. Here is how I explain how I've done it all. So check out the link below.